I'm in second place and you pass me, what place are you in?
First.
First place.
Yes.
I'm in second place and you pass me. Well, how would you be in first place?
Because I passed you. I passed you, so I'm in first.
I'm in second place, though.
Congratulations. Now I'm in first because I passed you. I passed you. Are we running? Are we driving? It doesn't matter. I passed you. I'm in first.
Hey everybody, hey, welcome back. Okay, so we got Story Time Tuesday. Oh, let me turn this shit down. Shit a little loud. Y'all forgive the intro. I didn't switch it like I should have, but it's all good, right? So this is a video that came up in my feed. This was actually a pretty cool interview, right? From if you guys are familiar with the YouTuber, his name is Billy Carson. Okay. He actually got involved with or married to a woman named Elisabeth Carson, or Elizabeth some shit, and then I guess they got married and his name was Carson. Whatever. But she is going to break her silence on a fraud scheme, right? So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to shit, right? I want y'all to check this out. Just a quick clip so y'all can see it, you know, right here.
If I would have known about this, it would not have happened because no debates happen with Billy. You want to debate Billy, you got to pay $50K. Everybody in the world wants to debate Billy. Everybody.
This is what they try to do when you get famous. A lot of these people are just ignorant, poor people. You know, they're just poor people. They're just ignorant. Well, then a lot of it, you know, whatever, man. These people are just poor dummies.
Yeah. All right. So that's the husband, you know, Billy Carson. All right. Now, we're actually going to hear her side, her story, because this is pretty fucking wild right here. So let me bring this shit up.
Me like
It matters. Like, oh, he sold $3 million. Like,
I was also doing
All right. So we got about an hour of footage to break down. So we're going to be here for a little minute. If anybody wants the link, y'all just ask for it. It'd be all types of crazy shit going on in these spaces. Trust me on that. Okay. So let me bring this shit up so y'all can see that. All right. Get those captions on.
Which is this? How much stuff? Like, what?
So I think they gave me, every gift card was $200. You know, we'll let you keep 3 of these gifts. I was making 10 grand a day with credit cards. That's when I met my ex, Billy Carson. I got him on Rogan and PBD. It was good one day. And then within an hour, it wasn't anymore. My life completely changed.
So there you go. Former fraudster, right? I want y'all to know that's the way a large percentage, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say this shit. This is the way a large percentage of these motherfucking YouTube large creators and social media influencers are moving. They just committing fraud. You know what I'm saying? And when you dig into their history, you find a history of this shit. Watch.
I met these guys. They asked me to go shopping. And I was like, yeah, I want to go shopping. So they gave me a bunch of gift cards. And they were like, here, if you go buy a bunch of clothes, you know, we'll let you keep 3 of these gift cards. And you can get whatever you want with 3 of these gift cards. But then, you know, spend the rest of the gift cards. And then after you're done, we're going to have you take that stuff back in a couple days. And I was like, okay, you know, free money.
You see the fucking mentality? Right there. She said, some people said to her, we're going to give you some gift cards, buy a bunch of shit, and then take it back in a couple of days. Now, her mentality, the first thing she pops off with is not, hey, damn, I might get caught. Where's this money coming from? Like, is this even, like, who are I know it's a crime, but is it a victimless crime? Like, where's it actually come from? Like, is it insured? Nah, none of that shit. This chick just said, oh, well, free money. The fuck out of here, bro. Free money don't exist. What up, Daniel Barry?
Like, free stuff, sure. So I did that and it was fine. And I got all the stuff. I returned the stuff a couple days later, gave them the cash, and kept my little bag that I got, right?
How much is this? How much stuff? Like, what?
So I think they gave me, every gift card was $200. And this is Nordstrom's, because they had that was one of the only stores back in the day. I don't know anymore, but you could literally spend 5 gift cards and get cash back. Stores don't do that. Like, right. You get the gift card back. You don't get cash back.
Yeah, they just reload the gift card.
Yes, exactly. So Nordstrom's was the hack. So I went and I, you know, did the thing, and they were like, "Oh, good job, you did good. Do you want to do this?" And I was like,
now, mind you, this is before she even met the dude Billy Carson on social media or anything. This is long before this. This is just where the story starts.
Yeah, this is easy. And I was like, well, I just want the cash. I don't want these bags. You know, can I just get the cash? And they were like, of course, you can get the cash. So while I was modeling, while I was going to parties, I mean, I was hosting parties, I was also doing this on the side. And this is what started to help me, because I didn't have any money.
When you first were.
You feel me? Y'all think these hoes over here making money? She said it herself. She was modeling. She was doing parties, hosting parties, but yet she didn't have any money. Ask me shit.
So what year was it?
2000. I was like, well, I just want the cash. I don't want these bags. You know, can I just get the cash? And they were like, of course, you can get the cash. So while I was modeling, while I was going to parties, I mean, I was hosting parties, I was also doing this on the side. And this is what started to help me, because I didn't have any money.
What the fuck are you modeling? Trinity, you did what the fuck are you modeling? Like, I love when the especially these women come on here talking about I'm a model. It's like, okay, if you're a model, that means that you're modeling something, right? Like Tyra Banks was a Victoria's Secret model. She modeled bras and lingerie and shit. So she got paid to show off that shit. Okay? Like swimsuit models. You're not a swimsuit model just because you take pictures in a swimsuit. It means the company that manufactures and retails swimsuits pays you to wear their shit. Like they pay you. If you're not getting paid to wear shit, you're not modeling shit. Like, you understand? Like, she literally says, I was a model, but I wasn't getting paid. Like, you wasn't modeling shit.
You first were approached. So what year was it?
2000.
Yeah. Like these IG models and shit. Like, bitch, you ain't modeling shit. Like, you ain't modeling shit. Nobody is paying you to show off their shit. Like, I get it. You see those YouTube channels with the women be doing hauls and shit like that, and they got all of these links in there. You know what I'm saying? They usually get some kind of kickback or credit, or some money gets loaded into an account every time somebody clicks their link. That's understandable. That is modeling to some degree. But if you ain't making no money from the company whose shit that you're modeling, you're not a fucking model.
7.
This is in the infancy. You don't understand. This is the infancy. What you're talking about, that's when it first started.
Yeah, it was before it got real big. Yeah.
Right, where people are thinking like it's just credit card, the fraud. Like, oh, he did. It didn't matter how much. It's like I can't send this guy to 10 years for credit card fraud.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Like now they don't have a fucking problem at all. Like what he did, what? 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, 12 years, where
it wasn't big.
Where before it was like, it didn't matter. It's like, oh, he stole $3 million. Like, yeah, it's credit cards. That's how they thought of it. Yeah. I don't think I like that no more. It's not funny. It's not cute now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got no sense of humor.
Yeah, I know. It's more serious.
Shout out to Trinity. She said she probably had a lifestyle she couldn't afford and spent her money trying to keep up with her rich friends, spending on stupid things like partying, jewelry, clothes, and drugs. Good point, Trinity. You know, good point. Because a lot of times, the only thing that these chicks are really modeling, which they're not getting paid for, they're just modeling the background, the atmosphere, and shit like that. That's what, you know what I'm saying? They'll go to rented houses and shit like that and go on trips and shit just so they can get the goddamn shot. That shit costs money. That shit costs money.
You know, when I got introduced to this hustle, it was before the big, huge boom of when credit card fraud was like a big thing. You know, when it became the hustle for people to do.
This was a good.
It's not a hustle. That's a lick, a scam. It's fraud. You know, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of money in that shit. You know, it's a lot of money in that shit. You risking time, but don't confuse scams with hustles. And I'm gonna get into that later on in the show.
Before,
the good times.
Yeah, it was the good times. It was the easy times. You know, in LA, when I was starting to get introduced with this credit card stuff, I started to see how lucrative it was. And I was like, wait.
Because the way I see it, right? Hustles are victimless crimes. You know? Or I'm sorry, let me take that back. Hustles are victimless endeavors, right? That's usually when you hustling. I don't give a fuck if you out in the street selling bean pies. You know what I'm saying? You got a web-based company or some shit like that. But when you fucking stealing, you know what I'm saying, you scamming, you committing fraud and whatever, that shit ain't no motherfucking hustle. It's a scam. Like you taking money from here and you putting it in your pocket. You are adding no value. You have no satisfied customers. Like, the fuck out of here. That's not a hustle.
Wait a minute. I'm in the wrong business. You know, this modeling stuff is not paying like this is over here.
Thank you. And the victims, especially when you do that shit on some retail level, the victims are actually the employees. They're the consumers. This is why prices and shit go up, because these companies have to put and this is why interest rates on credit cards go up and all types of other shit. Requirements to get them go up because Prevention loss is a motherfucker, or loss prevention. It's a motherfucker when it comes to these companies. And when they have to pay all of this money to prevent shrinkage and leakage because of theft and fraud, they pass those prices on to the consumer. And they have to take money from other facets of their company and put it into loss prevention and fraud prevention. So the first people that get hit with it are labor and shit. This is why you got people at Walmart making minimum wage and shit. No more than that. This is why they only got one person working at your neighborhood CVS or Walgreens at one time, because they're not paying to employ two people at a time. They're not doing that shit because they got to spend too much trying to keep motherfuckers from shoplifting. They got to pay too much for all of the anti-theft devices, the lock boxes and shit like that, the surveillance and everything else. And especially in retail, when you're talking about clothes being stolen and shit like that, they got to have all of those extra fucking, you know, just machines and shit that go off when motherfucker leave, you know what I'm saying, go out the door with them. Like, it's all types of shit. Dye and shit. You know what I'm saying? Dye that be busting on motherfuckers and shit when you done left. You can't get it off. Like, for real. You know? So if y'all be wondering, one of the reasons why prices go up on shit is not just because of inflation and the fact that your dollar ain't worth shit. It's also because companies got to put so much money into loss prevention and fraud prevention.
I was like, maybe I should focus a little bit more on this money. So I kind of left the modeling acting for a little while and started to focus on this hustle. And when I started to focus on the hustle, they gave me more responsibility, because at first it was only them giving me these Nordstrom gift cards for $200. They would give me like 5 to 10 at a time for $200 a piece. And I was doing the shopping, and then I would wait, or I would go to another Nordstrom's in another area and return the stuff there. So it wasn't looking like I was going right back to the same store. I was going over here. So that's what they had me do for quite a while. And I was like, I need more. Like, this isn't enough. And they were giving.
This bitch is so stupid, right? She's calling this shit a hustle. And she's like, yeah, you know, I would just go to this store, and then I go to that store, and then I go. All them stores got cameras. You were so focused on the hustle, you didn't realize they got your cute little mug on surveillance doing this shit. That's why motherfuckers are giving you the gift cards instead of just using the gift cards themselves. Stupid ass. So it's your face on the camera instead of theirs.
Giving me a certain percentage of the money, the cash, when I would return the stuff and give it back. And they were like, okay, well, you know, we can show you how to start a swipe. Do you want to learn how to swipe? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. I want to do this. And they were like, okay. So, you know, these guys, it was a group of guys. And I remember one of the guys was connected. He was actually a cowboy. So they were, you know, very criminally connected. And so it was 3 guys and me and my girl. And I think there was like 3 other girls or whatever, but it was me and one of my good friends and then the 3 guys. And so we kind of went on a road trip. So we started to like travel together. So I remember we were in LA and we would hit all these stores in LA. That's where they taught me. So we would go into Safeways, or what's the other one called? These grocery stores, right? And we would swipe. They would give me a credit card and they would tell me to swipe for like a Visa, either a Visa gift card or a Nordstrom. Nordstrom was always the thing because, like I told you, you could always go buy something with that gift card and get cash for it. So it was always Nordstrom. And it was, for some reason, those would hit always more so than the Visa gift cards. So my go-to was always the Nordstrom. So they ended up giving me a credit card, and that credit card had my name on it. I remember.
Like, brilliant. She's a fucking genius, isn't she? Like, now trust me, I'm getting somewhere. There's a reason why I'm breaking this shit down. Because what you guys are going to see, I'm going to give y'all a little spoiler warning, right? She's talking about some dudes was, you know what I'm saying, giving her the shit and scamming and all of that other shit, right? It was some dudes giving her that shit. It was a big criminal ring. All the niggas she ended up dealing with, like that she ended up dealing with, those motherfuckers got knocked for other shit just because they were in her fucking proximity. Damn shame.
The first time I ever swiped, so I wasn't nervous. And so I went in and I did what I was told, and I got 3 Nordstrom gift cards. So it was $600. And so I brought them up to the register. I put them down. I swiped, and boom, it went through. And I'm like, that was so easy. Like, this is easy. Let's freaking do this. I'm like, oh my God. So I got my stuff, walked out of the car. I'm like, here you go. I got it. They were like, all right, well, let's go to the next store. This time I want you to get 5 gift cards. So they gave me a different card, and it had my name on it. And they were like, all right, go and get 5 gift cards this time. So I went in the store. I got 5. So it amounted to be $1,000. Got the 5 gift cards, swiped, it went through. Boom, I'm gone. I'm like, this is easy. Let's like really do this, you know? So they started giving me cards with my name on them. They would print me like 5 a day. And we would go.
So they're taking stolen information. They're putting it on a card. Card is being printed on a thermal printer with your name on it, the plastic card, saying it's a Visa or MasterCard, whatever.
Yes.
And it's using your ID, but on the back strip,
yeah,
it's actually the card holder's name, but they don't see that at the point of sale machine or whoever's swiping the card. They don't see that.
Right.
And if they were to look at the card, it'd have your name on it, and you could show them your.
Now this dude conducting the interview, right? He's a retired fraudster, scammer, so he's letting her know like how that worked. Like there's the reason why your name is on the fucking card. Here's what they do. They use the thermal printer. They made up the motherfucking cards. You know what I'm saying? All of the information on the strip, when they swipe it, is somebody else's, but it's just your name on the card. So that way, when they look at that shit and they check your ID, you got ID that matches the card, and it's cool. You just signed for that shit, you know? And then you're liable for all of this fraud shit just in case you get knocked, busted. And she's like, cool. Isn't it great?
ID.
Exactly. Right. And here's one even better. So this is how they got good. And this is later down the line in the hustle. So at first, it was just my name on the card. But probably a year into it, they were able to print the last 4 digits of whatever credit card information was on the strip. So when the people, this is why I was so confident. When the people would check to see if the last 4 matched the account, it would always match. This was after a year. This is when it started maybe getting a little bit more hot. Because at first, when I was doing this, like, remember, way back, there was no such thing as credit card fraud. Yeah. It was like, oh, nothing. So I remember.
She just said back then, it was no such thing as credit card fraud. I'm old enough to remember a movie that came out, I think it was in like 1992 or some shit. It was called Mo Money with Damon Wayans and Marlon Wayans and shit. Credit card fraud was a thing then, and it was a thing before that because they made a fucking movie about it. Okay? Credit card fraud has been a thing ever since they used to fucking swipe the shit or they used to embed the shit with carbon shit. Like, she don't get that she was the thank you, Trinity. She don't even think that. Like, she's thinking, I'm hustling. Like, nah, bitch, you're the lick, you fucking idiot. Like, you fucking idiot. She said back then it was no such thing as credit card fraud. No, credit card fraud has been a thing ever since credit cards have existed. Ever since they've existed.
I remember they started to get better at the fraud because they were like, no, it's getting a little bit more hot. So I was not scared because
Like, hey, you're getting money off of the stolen shit that you're stealing, because that's what you're doing. Because you're actually stealing money. First, you're stealing merchandise, and then you're exchanging it for cash. So you're getting money off of that little cut, but they're getting money off of you. Like, they're getting money off of you. They're not getting money off of that. They're getting money off of you. Because if all they needed to do was get money off of that shit, they would just cut you out of it. No, they give you a little crumb, and that's it. You're the one taking the fucking risk.
Because eventually I was carrying cards with the last 4 and my name. Tell me that I stole a card. Tell me. How are you going to tell me that? You know, what? Really, sir? You know, like, that was my attitude. So I wasn't scared at all. So we started to travel to different cities in California. We went all the way up through Oakland, through Bay City. I remember we even hit San Francisco. And when we were driving up through San Francisco, I just remember we were hitting so many Safeways. And I was like, this is such an interesting town, because there were so many Safeways very close to each other. So we were able to, like, go here, go here, go here. We made so much money in San Francisco. I think that.
And Trinity is absolutely right. Like, it's like, you stupid motherfucker. If you had any goddamn sense and just realized, like, hold up, I'm the fucking lick. Like, if you had any sense, you would have done what the fuck these motherfuckers is doing, and you would have just found somebody else to do this shit instead of you, and just took your little cut. You'd have found some stupid motherfuckers to do that shit, because, hey, you ain't stupid. You're like, I ain't doing that shit. But hey, just like they making money, I'll make some money, but I'm gonna stay my ass on camera. No, that bitch just gonna keep doing that shit. Yeah, I'll just go from state to state and whatever. Like, now you're looking at federal charges, not just state charges, or you looking at multi-state cases, you stupid bitch. Like, you just packing on the fucking charges. And the reason why I say you packing on the damn charges is because there is a paper trail. Like, there is a paper trail. There's swipes, there's signatures. All right, this is electronic tender you're using. You're on camera. It's fraud. Like, there is no question about whether or not motherfuckers is about to be onto you. They will be. So unless you're wearing masks and fake noses and all types of other shit, when you doing this shit, they know it's you.
As a group, we probably pulled down like 100 grand, you know, as a group in a matter of maybe 4 days. We wouldn't stay in cities very long. We would hit all the stores, hit the Nordstroms, and then we would go to the next place and return at the next Nordstroms and then do the whole hustle again. I remember we even ended up in Colorado at one moment. And, you know, we were eating dinner at Ruth's Chris, and we were sitting with our team of people, and we were just drinking, and we were eating the best food. And he was like, get whatever you want. This is the good thing about this, because all we would do is literally swipe for our dinners, swipe for our hotel rooms, swipe for our travel. Everything was not paid for. Everything was literally on a credit card. So, you know, we were eating this good food, and I remember sitting there thinking, like, this is so good. You know, how can this be this good? I was like, I started to.
Isn't anybody getting popped?
No one was getting popped. It was literally so good. You know, we
because they're building a fucking case, you idiot. You idiot. Right now, you've only stolen like 100 grand. We'd like to get you up to about 500,000, if not 1 million. And that way we can really get your ass for charges and restitution and shit. Dumbass.
Had money. The guys had money. Me and my girl had money. I'm like, this is beyond amazing, right? At that time, I remember we were traveling all over. I wanted to move back to Detroit. So I ended up moving back to Detroit, but I didn't want to let the hustle go. So I'm like, how can we still do this, right? And so he was like, all right, this is what we're going to do.
I thought she was a model. I thought she was an actress. I thought she was hosting parties. She talking about she didn't want to let the hustle go. Bitch, you wasn't making no money doing that shit. You talking about you wasn't modeling a motherfucking thing. You was just around other circles, man. I'm telling you, man. You know, a lot of these IG thoughts and shit y'all be saying ain't worth a shit. Nothing. Ain't worth a shit.
He's like, I'll still print you these cards, and I'll mail them to you. He would FedEx them to me. But he's like, you have to, work the cards and send me back 50% of what you make. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do that.
I'm going to show y'all one more time. This is the clip from this chick about her goddamn husband.
If I would have known about this, it would not have happened because no debates happen with Billy. You want to debate Billy, you got to pay $50K. Everybody in the world wants to debate Billy. Everybody.
This is what they try to do when you get famous. A lot of these people are just ignorant, poor people. They're just poor people. They're just ignorant. Well, then a lot of it, whatever, man. These people are just poor dummies.
These are the people y'all got on the internet calling you poor because you work for a living. People like this chick.
I ended up moving back to Detroit, but I didn't want to let the hustle go. So I'm like, how can we still do this, right? And so he was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. He's like, I'll still print you these cards, and I'll mail them to you. He would FedEx them to me. But he's like, you have to, work the cards and send me back.
Yeah. That motherfucker like, yo, fuck that. I'm going to mail them shits to you. I ain't going to fucking hand them to you. I ain't going to drop them shits off. I ain't going to have none of my runners do it. Whatever. I'm going to just stick that shit in the box, have somebody else do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Take that shit down. We're just going to mail them to you. Whatever. Fuck it. Whatever. I don't want no dealings with your stupid ass because I know they watching you. So I want no association with you whatsoever.
50% of what you make. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do these cards, and I'll mail them to you. He would FedEx them to me. But he's like, you have to, work the cards and send me back 50% of what you make. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do that. So that's what we did. When I went back to Michigan, that was interesting when I got back to Michigan. I moved back because a friend of mine, actually my best friend, he had gotten shot and murdered. So I moved back to Michigan to, kind of support his family and just be there. And I remember I was leaving his funeral and I was driving down the street with my girl. On my left-hand side, I see this guy walk out of this house and I'm like, who is he? Like,
yep. Now this is the part where shit got interesting. I honestly wouldn't even have broke down the video until I heard this part. I don't feel bad for this nigga though.
I was leaving his funeral and I was driving down the street with my girl. On my left-hand side, I see this guy walk out of this house and I'm like, who is he? Like, he's beautiful. Oh my God. It was literally the most beautiful man that I had ever seen in my life. And I was like, roll down the window. I was like, I got to talk to him. He was coming out the house that we were going into. I was like, hey, what's your name? And he was like, oh, my name's B. I was like, oh, I got to get to know you. I'm like, what's your number? I want to talk. And so I got his number. And the minute that we started talking, we just started vibing. It was like, I don't know, match made in heaven. We just started vibing. And a week later,
So all that shit that these motherfuckers try to say in this space, oh, women don't be approaching men. Bullshit. She was real about that. Fuck that. She saw something. She wanted it. She went and got that shit. Okay? And y'all gonna hear what happens to this dude.
Ended up moving in together. And so me and him got so incredibly close. And he had his own hustle. I had my hustle. So
notice how she really think that her hustle is on the same level as his. You're going to hear what his hustle is in a moment.
As I got back to Detroit, I still had the credit cards because he was sending them in the mail to me, and I picked back up my pill hustle again. So I was doing the ecstasy thing.
And you hustling pills. So in other words, you going to pain clinics, getting prescriptions and shit. You know what I'm saying that you got whatever issues that you don't have or whatever maybe you do have. I don't know, but you're getting scripts and you're selling the pills. So she hustling motherfucking pills. Okay, that's trafficking and you know what I'm saying, drugs and shit like that. Okay, all fed time. All right, and she's doing fraud. More fed time. But let's go.
So I called my boy. I started getting those again. My boyfriend had his hustle, which was marijuana. So
her man, the most beautiful dude she's ever seen. She's like, his hustle was marijuana. This nigga sold weed. He sold weed. Let me go back. This bitch is hustling prescription pills, committing credit card fraud. And she's like, yeah, I got my hustle, he got his. I'm like, yo, you know, at the end of the day, like, he's an actual businessman. Granted, even though his business is illegal, you know, but all his customers are satisfied. He can just do that shit. Like, he can do that shit for a while as long as he don't get caught with the product. Because he looks his customers in the fucking eye and gives them some shit that they want and that they're willing to pay him for. And then they call him back and get some more. You got to go from state to state and find stores of people that don't know you so that you can defraud money out of their fucking register. Those ain't the same. Those ain't the same.
We just started vibing in a week number. I want to talk. And so I got his number. And the minute that we started talking, we just started vibing. It was like, I don't know, match made in heaven. We just started vibing. And a week later, we ended up moving in together. And so me and him got...
Worst mistake of this nigga life. Worst mistake of his fucking life, man. You know, but that's why I said I was like Confessions of a Scamming Ass 304. Because notice, she claims that this hustle was so fucking good that she couldn't bear to do that shit without a nigga on her fucking arm. Gotta have me a motherfucking nigga. Got to. You think she picked a fucking white boy or some shit? I'm willing to bet bread. She picked a fucking nigga.
So incredibly close. And he had his own hustle. I had my hustle. So as I got back to Detroit, I still had the credit cards because he was sending them in the mail to me. And I picked back up my pill hustle again. So I was doing the ecstasy thing. So I called my boy. I started getting those again. My boyfriend had his hustle, which was marijuana. So we started to get so much money. I mean, he would get, 30 pounds in the mail and then, drive the 30 pounds up to Bay City and sell those pounds, making like double of what he was buying it for. So it was good money. And then I was taking the...
Yeah, that's business. That's business. There's fucking, there's overhead, there's margin, there's distribution. Like, he's actually got a business going on. Yes, it is against the law, at the time, but he's taking the risk and shit. He's actually got a business. You're just scamming. They're not the same.
Pills and, going up to Bay City. So we were kind of like a team going all over the state, dropping off the drugs to all the people. And on the way going up on all these places, I would hit the stores and I would swipe and do the credit cards as well. So we were kind of known in Detroit, kind of like Bonnie and Clyde for a while. You know, we would spend all of our money in strip clubs. We probably made million dollars. I always have to look over my shoulder. I'm always paranoid. I mean, every morning I was looking out the windows and I was always peeking out to see, like, is anyone on us? You know, I started to get the paranoia. And I was like, I don't like being paranoid all the time. I really want to let this go. Maybe we can just focus on music. We can focus on my, you know, something else. But I was like, this is getting to be overwhelming for me. And he's like, me too. So we had a whole plan.
Now she's the paranoid one. That's for shit. She's the paranoid one. He's like, yeah, me too. Whatever. You're paranoid now. You just said it yourself. Like, you heard that. She said, spend all the money in strip clubs. We were known in Detroit and all of this other shit. We're known as Bonnie and Clyde. You still going to strip clubs every night, making it rain, all of that shit. Okay? Just throwing money, putting your face on camera because you couldn't not swipe, all of that shit. And now you're paranoid.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to hustle our ass off next certain amount of time, and we're going to stack our money. We're going to save it all. And we're going to move to Atlanta, follow our music dream. Because I was like, look, this is getting too good. I mean, by that time, I was hitting maybe, I would say 10 stores a week, not even hustling every day with the credit cards. I mean, I would get a pack of maybe 20 cards from my guy. And so I would split it into like 4 days and 5 different, you know, credit cards. And I would just run through all these stores. And I remember I was making close to 8 to 10 grand a day with credit cards, not just my cut, the whole cut, right? So I would send him like 4 to 5 grand. But I was making ridiculous money. And this is back, you know, 20.
Oh, Trinity. Tell me them niggas were not licking the fuck out of her, man. I'm talking about it. Like she just said, she would make 8 to 10 grand a day, and she just sending them niggas back 4 or 5,000. So to be honest with you, you're scamming. They're hustling. Yo, the niggas are hustling. Like old boy selling weed, he ain't fucking around. Just like she said, 30 pounds at a time. Whatever the fuck can fit in the trunk and in the bumper and shit. Whatever. That motherfucker moving that shit. These niggas is like, fuck that, yo. I'm gonna just mail you these motherfucking cards. I'm gonna just mail you an envelope and you gonna send me back some bread. Like you about to go hit Western Union and you about to send me some motherfucking bread. Or you about to just stop your ass off at the bank and go make you a fucking deposit. Or hell, if I ain't no better, them niggas probably got her ass fucking FedEx and back the cash. Fuck that. Not even, they probably ain't got no paper trail whatsoever. They probably literally got, they're like, yo, once you get the fucking cash, because we gonna see what you swipe, bitch, put that shit. And they probably send her ass a fucking a return envelope with the postage already on the shit. Like, yo, just put our cut right in here and just drop that bitch in the mailbox. Ain't nothing. Just drop that motherfucker right in the mailbox. When they send her them cards and shit, they probably just send her the fucking envelope too. Just fold it up right in that bitch. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Look, Trinity ain't stupid. She know what's up. They had her on a whole stroll. And she knew it too. That's likely why she's like, he's just the most beautiful man I ever met. She went and got her own pimp. She knew she needed some protection out here in these streets. She knew that. And believe it or not, that's how a lot of niggas get caught up in pimping. That's something that these motherfuckers don't talk about. I heard Ramil and Sir Ism going at it about this shit, but that's how a lot of niggas get caught up. They don't be approaching these fucking chicks be approaching them. And it start with, yo, take me here, drop me off, whatever, just drop me off. Next thing you know, bro, you just hope him. And real shit, a lot of square ass motherfuckers, niggas that just sell weed and shit. Next thing you know, these niggas get hit with goddamn trafficking fucking charges and racketeering charges and shit. Yeah.
2012, I think, or 2011 or something. And so that was a big chunk of money.
Man, y'all niggas got to learn how to tell these hoes no. Like, I get it, yo. If old boy kind of liked her a little bit, she a little aggressive, it's straight. Look, I got my hustle going on. You got your hustle going on. So you say you go do that. I'm going to do what the fuck I do. And when we done, we can link the fuck up. Other than ain't none of that. You ain't doing shit with me. I ain't doing shit with you. I don't know what the fuck you doing, but I know you ain't selling no bud. So whatever the fuck that is, and a bitch like this is be yapping and talking and shit like that. She probably telling you what she doing. If you over here moving goddamn 30, 40 pounds at a time, why would you want to be associated with this bitch? Why? You know damn well she being followed. Like, that's why I don't feel bad for that nigga, man.
I mean, I was like, this is good. And I sat down and I remember talking to my boyfriend. I'm like, look, when it gets good like this, people get caught. You know, I was like, I don't have a good feeling. I'm like, I'm paranoid. We're making too much. I'm like, let's just get a big, huge rush of money in and then we're done. Okay, we're just done. So that was the plan. So we had drawn out a map of all of the different stores that we were going to hit on the way up to a vacation at the tip of Michigan. So then we were going to hit all the stores coming back down. And that was going to be our big like whop. And then we were going to move. So we ended up driving. We hit this Best Buy, that Best Buy, this Best Buy, that Best Buy, this Best Buy. And then we got to my condo on the water and we had a couple days vacationing. It was lovely. It was awesome. I mean, we were jet skiing, taking pictures. And, you know, the next day we were like, okay, we're going to head back down. So, you know.
And I noticed that too. Like when she's talking about this shit, she can't help but smile. And she about to get to the bad part in a moment. But she still got fond memories of doing stupid shit.
I was so comfortable in my hustle at this time because like I told you, it had my name, it had the last 4. So no one could tell me anything. You can't tell me that I'm using fraudulent accounts for fraudulent credit cards because everything matches. How are you going to tell me? I was so confident. Nothing could.
Bitch, you ain't got no credit. You ain't got no credit. Ain't nobody giving you a line of credit. You can put whatever the hell you want on a goddamn credit card. You can put Billy Joe Bob Smith on a fucking credit card. That don't mean shit. That shit is attached to a social security number or an EIN number. Unless you got some foreign bank or some shit like that. And they even have some kind of way of fucking tracking. But that's it. That's what it is. So even though your name is on the card, somebody else's social security number or somebody else's EIN number is attached to the strip. That's what old boy tried to tell her. And she still, I'm not scared. My name is on the card. Like, nah, they just did that shit. So that way, if the shit comes up on the computer screen saying CID, you can just show them ID and get out of there with their money. That's it.
Steer me, like literally. So I ended up on the way back. I was like, let's just hit the same stores. They were so good on the way up. I'm like, we'll just go back to the same ones. This is how confident I got sloppy. So we hit the first store.
You've been sloppy.
Everything was fine.
You've been sloppy.
Second store, everything was fine. Third store, we're in Saginaw now. So we were in Traverse City. So it's like 4 hours north of Detroit. Traverse City is. Saginaw is like 2 hours north of Detroit. So we had hit a couple stores on the way down. We were in Saginaw, hit that Best Buy. We go into this Best Buy. I go grab the cards. I have the cards. I'm good. I walk up to the register. My son's dad is right on my right side. The woman is right here. She's ringing them up. And then she's looking at me a little weird. And I'm like, whatever. I get my card. I swipe. It goes through. And she's like, oh, she's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, Elisabeth. And she was like, oh, how are you doing today? I was like, I'm good. And she was like, yeah, well, I totally like your shirt. Your shirt is awesome. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I'm not thinking anything. Like I said, my confidence was.
Now, y'all already know what the fuck this is. Like, this is what bugged me the fuck out when I'm listening to this shit last week at night. Like, I bullshit you not. This is one of those things. This shit just came up in my feed and it was playing before my TV cut off. I had to hit the goddamn remote like, hey, man, they don't auto turn this shit off right here. I'm listening to this shit. I'm like, this dumb, goofy ass bitch. This motherfucking chick is at the register buying time, all right, for them people. Just like Raven said, Secret Service, you know, FBI, probably sheriffs are going to hold you or whatever. And yeah, they just buying time for them people to come get you. That's it. That's it. We're just buying time. Because you should know, if you've done this shit so many motherfucking times, that this process is taking longer than it usually does. Like, you should know that. But you're such a dumb fucking ditz that you really do think this bitch is admiring your shirt. Like, what a fucking idiot, man. Fellas, be careful. Be fucking careful.
Little weird. And I'm like, whatever. I get my card. I swipe. It goes through. And she's like, oh, she's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, Elisabeth. And she was like, oh, how are you doing today? I was like, I'm good. And she was like, yeah, well, I totally like your shirt. Your shirt is awesome. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I'm not thinking anything. Like I said, my confidence was through the freaking roof. My son's dad is over there. Like, he's like, later. This is later down the line. I ended up getting pregnant by him. But my boyfriend at the time is looking.
I'm gonna spin that back one time real quick. Cause she talking about two niggas. Like, look at the look on this nigga face when she telling him this shit. Look at this. You can't make this shit up. He's like, what a stupid, goofy bitch, bro. Where would I be if stupid, goofy motherfuckers like this wouldn't tell me their stories?
It's like, oh, how are you doing today? I was like, I'm good. And she was like, yeah, well, I totally like your shirt. Your shirt is awesome. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I'm not thinking anything. Like I said, my confidence was through the freaking roof. My son's dad is over there. Like, he's like, later. This is later down the line. I ended up getting pregnant by him. But my boyfriend at the time is looking at me and he's like, we gotta go. He's like trying to like low key. Come on, we gotta go.
And this stupid, goofy bitch about to be your baby mom. Man, you fucked. You fucked in life, bro. Like, you hear this chick.
And I'm like, oh, no, she's so nice. And so I'm having this.
And he telling her, like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. Whatever that shit is, just leave that shit there. Damn, I'm sorry I got to keep spinning it back. He like, whatever it is, just leave it there. And she's still like, nah, but she's nice. Everybody about to go to jail.
Confidence was through the freaking roof. My son's dad is over there. Like, he's like, later. This is later down the line. I ended up getting pregnant by him. But my boyfriend at the time is looking at me and he's like, we gotta go. He's like trying to like low key. Come on, we gotta go. And I'm like, oh, no, she's so nice. And so I'm having this merry conversation with this lady, thinking I'm totally fine, that this lady is just super nice, right?
She's stalling.
Oh, she was stalling me. He caught it. I didn't catch it. I was too confident. I'm like, we're good, you know? So she's like, oh, well, okay, have a good day.
Look, he caught it. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. What you mean? Something different. Something ain't right. Let's go. You know, goddamn well, these people hate their fucking job, man. Why the fuck she over here smiling, giving you compliments and shit? Come on, man.
And so we start to walk outside in the door. The things open up, the doors, and then I remember the door, and I'm seeing already the lights and the cops, and I'm like, what am I walking into? The automatic doors open, and I'm like, oh my God.
Now, granted, at that point, they busted anyway, so they could have left. It doesn't matter. They would have got busted either way, you know. They're both busted if they leave in the same car. Like, they're busted.
It's like, I don't even know how many cop cars, but it was the guns. It was like the movies. And they were like, get down. And they started rushing us, right? And they ran past, well, the guys ran past me. And I remember as one of the guys ran past me, my boyfriend was black. And he's like, you need.
Yeah, no shit. My boyfriend who's black. Yeah. Sure you found the nigga, man.
To watch who you're hanging out with. And as he runs past me and then hems him up on the wall, slams him against the wall. And then I'm thinking in my head,
what's up, elevated?
This is
up. Yeah. Yep. Hey, this is but elevated. She ain't even talking about the Billy Carson shit yet. This is her baby daddy before Billy Carson. So she ends up, that's what I'm saying, man. Hey, we got a lot more story here. We got a lot more story. This is her first nigga she with, her baby daddy. She even admitted she was doing all this shit before she got with that nigga. He was just selling some weed. Now, granted, yeah, he was doing illegal shit. He was selling some weed. But look, we know people that done sold weed for fucking 40, 50 fucking years, man. Fuck out of here, man. Like, your customers don't tell. Like, the fuck out of here. You do that shit forever. As long as you don't get caught with it, you're good. But credit card fraud, scams and shit, fuck out. It's a matter of time before you get busted. She said that mess like she was proud the police went after him first. Yes, Trinity. Absolutely. Yeah. Look, that's what it is. Look, I can't rewind it, elevated, but I'll put the link in the description, right? She explains it. She's going from state to state running credit card scams, right? She's getting gift cards. Some people are sending her gift cards and credit cards with her name printed on the shit that got somebody else's credit in the damn strip. So she's buying shit and taking shit back and getting the cash for it. And she's calling that a hustle. All right. And then she literally said that she spotted a nigga and she was like, he's the most beautiful nigga I've ever seen. He's the most beautiful guy I've ever seen in my life. I have to have him. And boom, now you hear what the fuck she went through because they both busted because she's scamming credit cards.
My hustle. This isn't even his hustle that we're about to get caught for.
Yeah.
Past me and then hems him up on the wall past me. My boyfriend was black and he's like, you need to watch who you're hanging out with. And as he runs past.
You hear this shit? She got that motherfucker hemmed the fuck up. She said the cops ran right past her and said, you need to watch who you're hanging out with, and went straight to him. He must be the mastermind. Look, I'm going to kind of get off topic a little bit. I broke down a body camera video. It was a Caucasian woman that was busted with same shit. She done lifted somebody's credit card. You know, took a purse or some shit, found somebody's fucking credit card, and she was buying pizza or some shit. Goes and gets a dude, and they eating pizza and shit off of a stolen fucking credit card. Real shit. The cops come and hem his ass up right on the body camera. Hem his ass the fuck up. And she even admits, like, nah, man, it was me. It was me. He didn't do it. Like, I took it. Here's where I got it from. I got it in the damn restroom or whatever. They're like, whatever. You know, at the end of the body camera video where you see the charges everybody got, she got probation. And this motherfucker ended up doing like 18 months or some shit. He got sentenced to 18 months, 18 months. Pretty much got charged with being the mastermind of it. Just for being with this shit. Fucking shame, man.
And I remember as one of the guys ran past me, my my boyfriend was black, and he's like, you need to watch who you're hanging out with. And as he runs past me and then hems him up on the wall, slams him against the wall. And then I'm thinking in my head, little do you know, this is my hustle. This isn't even his hustle that we're about to get caught for. So you telling me I need to watch who I hang with? Well, it's me. So I was like,
yeah, fuck. Yeah. Facts. Ooh, that Bridget just said that shit. Yeah, so she needs to watch who she's hanging with. Nah, he need to watch who he hanging with. Because his hustle was gravy. All his customers are satisfied.
like, you know, and then I got hemmed up. So then, I mean, I'm watching him get hemmed, and then I get grabbed and I get pushed up against the wall. And so they're like, all right, they arrest us, they put us in the back of the cop car, and they start to search the vehicle. And this was the middle of June in Michigan. Okay. So it was extremely hot, extremely. So they put us in this cop car in the middle of summer. They roll all the windows up. The car is not on. This is me and a 6'1" man who's really big in a car, body heat. You know, we are sitting there suffocating. We cannot breathe, right? We're literally drenched. Just, I'm like, is this even legal? I'm like, can we open the window? I couldn't open the window. I literally felt like I was gonna die. And I was like, okay, this is bad. I'm like, this is really bad. Plus, it was a Friday. So I'm like, this sucks. Because I already knew from experience my little debacles with like drinking and little stuff that I had gotten in trouble for. I was like, if you get locked up on a Friday, you're sitting in jail for the weekend. You know, you don't get arraigned on Friday, you get arraigned on Monday. So I was like, crap, you know, it's Friday. So I looked at my son, or my boyfriend at the time, and I'm like, hey, you know, it's okay. I'm like, we'll be fine. We're going to get arraigned on Monday. We'll just have to sit in jail for a couple days and then we'll get out on Monday. And he's like, yeah, I know, we'll be fine. I'm like, I know. So we're thinking everything is good. And I'm watching them search through the car, and I'm knowing that inside of that car, there's some credit cards with my name on it.
Hey, not weed, because this motherfucker be moving his work. There are credit cards in the car with her name on it.
Aren't my credit cards. And I'm like, this is probably going to be bad. So I'm like, then they're going to find out that this is my hustle, not his, you know? So long story short.
She's like, then they're going to find out, holy shit. Because right now, he's about to take you're both getting charged for this shit. But he's going to take a bulk of the charge because they're going to say that he was the mastermind. And they're going to make you say that he forced you to do it. Because that's what always happens.
We were in that cop car for hours on end, it felt like. And then finally, the cop gets in and starts to drive us to jail. So we're on the way to the jail, and by this time I'm literally drenched in sweat and a little bit lightheaded, feeling like I'm gonna pass out because I'm probably dehydrated. They bring us into the jail. They stick us into the holding tanks. So the guy's holding tank is over here, and the girl's holding tank is over here, so we could see each other, and it was glass. And so I got through in the tank, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this is annoying. I'm gonna be here for the weekend. I'm like, ugh, whatever. This sucks. And I'm just like, still having my cold like attitude and my no fear thing. I'm like, we'll be fine. And this isn't even a big deal. Just confidence through the roof, and just sitting there a little annoyed that I had to sit in there for a couple days for the weekend. I'm just irritated, right? So a couple hours go by, and I see my boyfriend, and he gets taken out of the holding tank, and then he gets walked over in front of my tank. And then there was like this hallway, right, that I couldn't see. So I'm watching him walk, and I'm watching this guy in a suit in front of him, and I'm watching the CEO, you know, behind him, holding him, whatever. And I'm like, who's this guy in the suit? And I'm like, ugh.
Fucking federal agent, you know, Secret Service agent, federal agent, or whatever. They likely questioning your nigga about how you got those fucking cards. Because they know they just know that he did it all. Even though you've been doing this shit since before you met the motherfucker.
This doesn't, I'm like, who's this guy? So he walks, you know, in. They are gone, maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes, they're gone. And as I see him him getting taken back in front of my clear tank. As he walks past me, he looks at me. He's like, basically, don't say anything is what he said. Do not say anything. And I was rolled my eyes. I'm like, duh, you know, whatever. So he gets taken back. Then they come to get me. And so I'm coming out and I get taken into this room. And I sit in this room across this guy with this suit on. And he's like, hello, ma'am. I'm like, so I didn't say anything because at this point, I'm like the biggest gangster in the world is what I'm thinking. And I'm like, this guy's not going to break me for nothing. Like, you know? So I'm saying I didn't say anything. And so I was like a rude bitch to him. Like I was giving him a dirty look. I was cold. And he's like, you know, ma'am, I just locked up a woman for 58 months, you know, last week for doing the exact same thing that you're doing. And I was like, I was just like shrugging and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So long story short, I don't talk. I'm sitting there. I'm giving him attitude. And he knows at this point, he's not going to get anything from me. So they take me. I'm like, I need my call. Where's my call? I want my lawyer. I need a lawyer. I need my call. That's all I kept really saying. So they took me over the phones. I finally got a call. I didn't call a lawyer. I didn't have one. I called my mom. She kicked into some sort of weird mode that I've never heard my mother in, right? Ever. She said, all right, you don't say anything to anybody. I will get you a lawyer. You just do not speak to anybody. She's like, when we talk next, she's like, we can talk then. She's like, do not say anything to anybody. Went to court, went to the arraignment. So he does this little thing and he's like, all right, $250,000 cash only bond. Click. And I was like, I almost fainted. I literally, my knees like went out and I my heart, it felt like it dropped into the bottom of my ass. Like I was like, I'm fucked. I was like, I'm fucked. This is never getting out of here. They put me into a medium, which was called the hall. And it was a long hallway, like just like a school, right? With bright freaking lights over top. And then it would have bunk beds. So there were bunks on each wall. So it was like bunks on the sides. And then the hall was where we would sit and talk. And then at the very end was the toilet and one shower, right? And it was all open. So this was where I was. And they never turned the lights off. I remember this one thing about the hall, right? They never
talk about them. I told you the motherfucker got they bread. You know? Just, hey, brainless bitch, man. I'm telling you, just a fucking ditz, man. Look, I try to tell these niggas. A dumbass bitch, man, is going to get you into more shit than she gonna get you out of. You trust that. You know? And the only thing worse than a dumbass bitch is a dumbass bitch that has no clue when to just shut the fuck up. Like, hey. So mom always told me. The only thing worse. Dumbass bitch with diarrhea out the mouth that just don't know when to shut up. Gonna get you in a whole lot of shit.
And turn the lights off. And my first bunkie was a schizophrenic pregnant woman. And so I was freaky. I mean, she was making weird noises and like doing weird stuff. So I was like, this is really awful. I hate this so much. But you know, I'm 4'11" and I'm small. You know, I knew that I was gonna probably like they were gonna like come at me, right? I'm small. So I was like, how can I look? This is my mind. I'm like, I'm in jail. These girls are about to whip my ass. Like, this is bad. So
jail.
I know. So I was like, this is what I'm thinking, right? I'm like, you know, I gotta like get cool with people. I gotta figure this out. You know, I guess I'm gonna be here. So I ended up getting cool with like the biggest girl there. And I was like braiding her hair. And I remember I learned how to braid hair. So I was braiding her hair and I got real cool with her. So no one would mess with me. Right. But then you're right. It's a girl prison. It was really like a girl's camp, to be honest. I mean, you know, it wasn't crazy. So they all ended up really liking me. Actually, we all got to be like very good friends. I mean, I kind of lifted the mood there because I always try to make the best out of every situation that I'm in. So I mean, I was trying to lift moods and just make the best out of it. And, you know, I remember going to court, in and out of court. It was so hard because I told my lawyer, which was against his advice, that I was going to just take the grunt of everything. I needed to get my my boyfriend off. I'm like, he didn't have
Now notice that even her lawyer advised her, let that nigga take some fucking heat. They trying to charge that nigga with all the shit she did.
It was so hard because I told my lawyer, which was against his advice, that I
against his advice. I'm gonna bring that shit up. It was against his advice that she take the whole charge that she's guilty of.
was gonna just take the grunt of everything. I needed to get my my boyfriend off. I'm like, he didn't have anything to do with this. I need him off of this. And so his lawyer, it was so crappy. I remember going through this whole process was one of the hardest of my life because in court, his lawyer would attack me like I was the kingpin, like I was the mastermind, which for this I was, you know, but it still felt like crap, you know, when you're both, I mean, we had a thing.
Yeah, his lawyer is doing his fucking job. Yeah, his lawyer is hired by him to represent him. And he ain't have shit to do with that shit. This is your crime. I felt like crap. I was getting attacked.
And my boyfriend, you know, it was like Bonnie Clyde. This is what we did. But in court, it was like, I am the worst human in the world. I'm the devil. I'm just, you know, but I understood I had to take that so he could get off of that, right? And then he had priors. I had no priors. So every time we would go to court, I'd be like crying and his lawyer would tear me apart every single court date. And I remember they wouldn't lower our bonds. I remember my lawyer put in
they ain't letting nobody out unless they can lock this nigga up. They don't even want her like that. They want him. And it ain't even his lick.
A request to get a different bond. Nope, they denied it. And our bonds didn't end up getting lowered until it got bound over. And
notice she said he had priors. So I get it. He had priors. Why is he in jail now? He's in jail now because of the crimes you're committing. She said it herself. She was getting the cards in the mail from some other motherfuckers. That's what I'm saying, Trinity. That's why I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for that nigga, man. I don't feel bad for that nigga. And look, she even mentioned how they got together. All that man was doing was coming out of a fucking house and she went after him. She like, yo, he was the most beautiful man I've ever seen. I had to have him. Aggressive with it. Aggressive with it. The fuck is a man to do? But no, I don't feel bad for him. You got to say no.
To a district, is it district court or circuit court, right? I forgot what court. I don't remember, but one of the courts I was in, and then it got bound. The case got bound over to the higher court. So once it got bound over to the higher court, we had a different judge, and the judge put on a cash assurity bond. So he put 10% in cash assurity on the $250,000. So my mother ended up putting up her house for me, and I remember I was sitting in jail, and my mom came and visited me in jail, and she was like, "You know what, Elisabeth?" She looked at me in my eyes and she was like, if you do not go to court, if you ruin this and you don't show up and you don't take care of your responsibilities, she's like, I'll never talk to you again. And
now, mind you, now, hey, it don't just stop with old boy. We ain't even got to Billy Carson yet, Elevated. We ain't even got there yet. Okay? We ain't even got there yet. Old boy who's selling some weed, he's knocked over her credit card fraud. All right, now her mother Them had to put up her fucking house. Mom ain't got shit to do with that shit, but mom put up her house so she don't go to court. Like, hey, all type. And she's like, well, whatever. She's thinking about credit card fraud like that shit's a victimless crime. How many people done got fucked over from this chick already?
Hearing that from my mom, my rock, the woman who has always been there for me, regardless of whatever it was, craziness that I've been involved in, like for her to say that to me, it shattered me and it scared me. And I was like, I would never do that to my mom. And I would never risk my mother losing her home, or anything like that. So my boyfriend ended up getting out. And when he got out, we found out that the feds were after him. He had been indicted. And so we ended up going on the run because I'm like...
What about your mom's house?
We ended up going on the run.
Look at this shit. Now the feds are after him. He's indicted by the fucking feds now. Okay? Well, because that's what happens. He done got some shit on Front Street, and he didn't show up to where he needed to be to drop that shit off. So people wondering where the fuck they work is at. Okay? So all types of shit done went down. Now he's on the fucking radar, and keep in mind he's been in jail too. They probably been watching him for a minute, but ain't really have nothing. And they trying to shake him for some shit, and he ain't giving it up. But hey, what about your mom's house? We ended up going on the run. Right? Nah, keep in mind, she don't show up to court. Mom's house gone. Like, that's it. They about to put a lien on mom's shit. All mom did was get her out of jail.
I was scared, man. Like, I was like, no. I was like, you're not going into the feds. Like, no, we just need to run away. I was like, we can just go hide out. We can move to another country. We can...
With a lien on mom's house. Let's just go. Fuck my mother's house.
We'll go hide, right? I'm like, that's just, we can't, I can't lose you. We were in love, and I had just gotten back. So we went on the run. We were in Detroit, went up to Lansing. It was like around New Year's. We went to a strip club, we
And you splurging in the titty bar. You splurging in strip clubs. Out on fucking bond. Under federal indictment. Both of y'all motherfuckers facing federal indictment. This is before she even met Billy Carson. And you understand why I don't feel bad for this nigga? I don't feel bad for this nigga. She was a lick, so now he's a lick. Whatever.
Got all high, and that evening, I knew.
Notice how she just glossed over that part too. We got all high. Yeah, you're on drugs too.
Went up to Lansing. It was like around New Year's. We went to a strip club, we got all high, and that evening, I knew it. I got pregnant that evening. It was like the second night on the run that we were gone.
I got pregnant. Yeah.
And I felt it. I was like, I felt it. Something, I knew I was pregnant. And, a couple days later, we're still on the run. I'm like feeling different. And I tested. I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, I knew it. And he's like, all right, what are we going to do? I was like, well, first things first, I think you have to turn yourself in. Because, we have a life now that we have to take care of. It's not just us. Like, we have to figure this out. We have to just figure it out. I was like, you got to turn yourself in. So we ended up coming back to Detroit. He turned himself in, and the prosecutor on the federal case ended up giving him house arrest so he could be with me while I was pregnant. And then, you know, going through the case, he ended up giving us 3 months with our son before he had to turn himself in. So the prosecutor was actually a little bit nice in that situation. And then by the time all this had happened, we had already resolved our case that we had. So he had got time served. I got time served. I think they were running this case, the credit card case, concurrent with his federal case. So it all got tied into the same thing. With me, it was like I had no priors. I had nothing except for like an MIP or something. Like I was drinking at 18 or something when I was really young. But I had no priors. So it stayed in the state case. Like the feds never came to get it, which was very surprising to me. But my lawyer told me that, you know, with Fed cases, you have to have like 99% evidence and like conviction, or else they're not even going to mess with it, right? But I'm like, you know, what about the Secret Service? So I was always scared the feds were going to come pick this case up throughout the whole thing, but it stayed in state, right? So I remember during the pregnancy, I mean, I was working as a host in a strip club, and I was pregnant, right? And I would try to make the strip club money. So I would have, you know, I was very attractive and I was sitting behind a desk. So I would have the customers bring me Patron shots and different shots, right? And I would take shots, but they would be water shots, right?
Mm-hmm. She lying. She lying. Okay, no, you was pregnant taking motherfucking Patron shots, goddammit. Okay? I bartended too long. Okay? When you pour drinks, when has anybody over the age of fucking 21, have you ever been in any establishment where you cannot see your drink being poured? With the exception of like a restaurant. But even in a restaurant, you can usually look across the room and you see somebody at the bar pouring your drinks. The drinks don't come from the back. So that's always visible. Okay? So unless the place you're working is also scamming, meaning they've got Patron bottles full of water, you're fucking lying. You were pregnant taking damn tequila shots.
And so this one night, I remember I was hosting, and by this time I was probably 7 months pregnant. I had a little basketball, and I'm sitting behind the desk, and I'm taking these water shots, and I'm like, oh, I'm so drunk. God, give me another. And I'm taking all these shots, and the lights come on because it's the end of the night, and I'm like so exhausted. I stand up, and I'm like getting my stuff.
You wasn't exhausted. You was drunk. You was drunk, and you was pregnant as all hell. Like just a loser ass bitch, man. And she's saying this shit like motherfucker really supposed to believe this shit. Oh, well, she said she was taking water. Fuck out of here, bro. There's not water in that shot glass.
I run to the locker room. I go to get my stuff so I can leave and go home. And the guy that was buying the shots was there. He's like, oh my God, you're pregnant. And I was like, yeah, yeah. Little did he know it was water shots. But so I worked all the way through my pregnancy at a strip club, hosting, and I was bartending. I was the bread maker of our household because he was on house arrest. So I had to make all the money that I possibly could. So it was strip clubs that I could make the most money bartending and hosting. So, you know, I ended up having the baby.
Yes.
We had, you know, the baby together, and we had our 3 months with our son. And, you know, when he had to turn himself in, this is when my life shifted. It was like, what is happening? So he had to go turn himself in Pennsylvania. And so we were in Michigan. So we strapped our baby into the car and we started to drive to Pennsylvania. And I remember the drive there was so eerie. It was like, we weren't really talking. You know, I was just like, this is an incredible, sad, terrible moment. I'm like, this is horrible. We got our baby in the back seat. I'm like, the love of my life is about to have to turn himself in. I'm going to be all alone. He's going to be in prison. I'm like, this is just, ugh.
How much time do you get?
2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 years. So it wasn't a massive amount of time, but when you're in the moment, it feels like your world, like your whole world is over. So that's when I made a decision. I'm like, I don't want to live this life anymore. And if I continue to live this life, then my son is going to end up in foster care and I'm not going to be there for my son. So I made a decision that day that I was not going to allow myself to live the life that I used to live in the capacity that I ever did before. So we grew apart. And, you know, when he got out, he was still in that mode. And of course, you would be in that mode. Anyone would be in that mode if they literally watched murders pretty much, you know, daily, and they were locked up at a place where, I mean, it was not an easy prison at all by any means. So, I mean, I understand the mind state that he was in. When he got out, I could see it in his face, like complete hardness, you know, stuck, just hard, because he had to be that way there to survive. So he was doing cool.
How come you didn't get any time? Notice how she just glossed over what the fuck kept her out of jail. Okay, you had to go to court. Your mom put up a surety bond, right? Put her house up. You went to court. How the fuck did you get out of jail? How did you beat time? Trinity, where you at? Yep. How the fuck did you stay out of jail? That's awfully convenient. He had to do 2 years, but you didn't have to do any time?
Crazy stuff when he got out, and I was having no parts of that with my son. So I was like, get your shit together, because I'm not doing this anymore. And so I dove headfirst into real estate at that time. At this point, I had a lot of money. I mean, I was doing really well. I had a friend of mine that owned a mental health place, and I'm like, hey, you know, I see that you could use some help. Why don't I help you? Because
the worst type of help you can ever get in your fucking life, man. Notice, she keeps doing that shit. This chick has a pattern of this shit. Just like in the beginning, she was like, oh, I was modeling and I was acting, but I didn't have any money, so I had to come up with a hustle. And then she started doing credit card fucking fraud and shit. Okay? So, and she didn't just do that shit. She found some niggas, or some niggas found her, and boom, she was a fucking lick. You know? Then she found that dude that she claims is the most beautiful man she's ever seen in her life. Got his ass fucking knocked. Okay? And now she claims that she's doing real estate, had a lot of money, and now she wants to help somebody that has a mental health facility. Fuck up out of here. You ain't making no goddamn money doing real estate because you ain't selling shit. Miss me with the bullshit. Now we supposed to believe that you're a fucking philanthropist and you just helping people? Miss me with that.
his tools that he used.
You find niggas to latch the fuck onto when life ain't going well for you, or when life is going well for you, you latch on to niggas.
Were ones that helped me. And long story short, you know, I worked with him for about 2 years. He never paid me. By the time I started needing to get paid, he was paying me in shares. And so I was like, dude, you know, I ran through my savings, so I need something. And he was like, oh, well, I can't afford it. So, but your shares are going to be worth billions of dollars later. And I'm like, okay, you know, all right. So I kept on, you know, keeping on. And then got to the point where I literally didn't have money, and I was so stressed.
I thought she said she was doing well with real estate. Why don't you have any fucking money? No, you just had a real estate license. You weren't doing well with real estate because you wasn't selling shit. Just keep it real. That never happens. You weren't selling shit. There ain't no residuals. If you were building any kind of client portfolio, any type of resume, any type of jacket, you would be getting fucking leads like clockwork. People would be recommending and they would be referring you as an agent. You would be able to keep shit going. You were never doing fucking well. That's why you latched onto a nigga and started working for free, for shares. Listen to this shit one more time.
Long story short, I worked with him for about 2 years. He never paid me. By the time I started needing to get paid, he was paying me in shares. And so I was like, dude, I ran through my savings, so I need something. And he was like, oh, well, I can't afford it. So, but your shares are going to be worth billions of dollars later. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I kept on, keeping on. And then got to the point where I literally didn't have money, and I was so stressed out, and I was like, dude, can you at least help me? Like, I need the DoorDash or like Uber or something, but felons can't do that. So I'm like, can you at least get the thing so I can run and I'll do the work? But I couldn't get it because of my felony. So I'm like, but he wouldn't even do that. So it kind of made me look at him sideways, and I'm like, if I've been helping you for all these years, we've scaled this, and now we're like popular and we look cool, but we're just not making a lot of money yet. Then I'm like, you're not trying.
Trinity, where you at, sis? Yeah, that's that lifestyle again. Yeah, we looking cool, but we ain't making no money. Yeah. See? Welcome to the fucking internet. Fall for this shit.
Help me at all, And so that's when I was like, I started like kind of backing away from that business. And that's when I met my ex. So he ended up the founder of the mental health place. I was president of that facility at the time. And he was like, hey, there's this guy, his name is Billy Carson, and I want you to get him here. And I was like, cool. That was my thing. I was getting all these like celebrity people or people with followers to come in the facility. So I ended up hitting up Billy and getting him to come into the facility. And when Billy got there, he filmed, and it was like, I don't know, it was cool.
Now we done finally got to Billy Carson. A little more than about halfway through the fucking video. This bitch done been through so much motherfucking shit. Now we got Billy. So hey, Elevated know the story about this shit.
Cool. Billy saw what I was doing for that company immediately, I think, and then he could recognize how everything was happening. So he had his opportunity to swoop in, right? So he swooped in, and at the time I was broke. My car was falling apart. There was probably like 16.
She said Billy had the opportunity to swoop in. She talking like Billy came and took advantage of her.
It was cool. Billy saw what I was doing for that company immediately, I think, and then he could recognize how everything was happening. So he had his opportunity to swoop in, right? So he swooped in, and at the time I was broke. My car was falling apart. There was probably like 16,000 lights on, right? It was like a rainbow as soon as I turned my car on. So, Billy saw that, and he was like, you need another car. And I was like, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm like, whatever. So basically Billy had offered to give me, a job with him. And I had offered to honestly help him too. And I'm like, hey, there's some things with your business that I think I could help with. And so, it was.
No, don't help. No, no, fellas. When chick like this come offering to help, man, run, motherfucker. The last nigga who she helped ended up having to do 2 fucking years, man. Like, she just helping niggas. The only motherfuckers that got paid based on her fucking help had to send her all the work in the mail. Just saying. When she offered to help, run.
kind of like a mutual agreement. Like, I'm going to help you with your business a little bit while I still continue to work here. But, you know, I need money. So he was kind of like making sure that at least my bills were paid. Now, the guy over here at this place didn't like that. I think that the guy over here, he was my best friend for all these years, but I think he actually kind of liked me, maybe, because otherwise I don't see why he would have been so angry about Billy, right?
He didn't just like you, just like you said, Elevated. We know what she was selling. He didn't just like you. That nigga was screwing you. Which is highly likely. When you said it yourself, you were working with the motherfucker or working for the motherfucker for 2 years with no pay. What woman is going to work for a man for 2 years with no pay and no payment agreement other than equity in his fucking company, and he is not sticking her? Come on. The confessions of a scamming asshole.
Coming in. So Billy starts coming in trying to date, and
Can't
he
make
ended
this
up
shit
giving
up.
me a car. And I remember the guy, the founder of the mental health place, I got screamed at by him when I told him that Billy bought me a car. He's like, you can get a car yourself. You don't need a man.
Yeah, because you was his chick. That's why. Why the fuck? Why the fuck would some nigga that you ain't fucking trip about you dealing with another nigga? He couldn't get you no car. He's like, I think he kind of liked me. Yeah, what made you think? What made you think that? You know? Is it the way he used to insert himself in you? And you was letting him do it? Maybe that's why he liked you? Come on.
And to get you a car. Just started going crazy on me. And I'm like, calm down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're just at that point, I think I knew that he probably just liked me. I'm like, whatever, dude. So he started to get mad. This guy over here started to get mad at Billy. And then he started to get mad that I was working with Billy. And he was like, you know what?
But he's not paying you.
Exactly. So
Yeah, he was.
This one morning, it was insane. This was one of the most insane mornings I've had. So I wake up and I look at my phone, and I missed all these calls from this guy, this mental health guy. And I'm like, what is going on? So I call him back and I'm like, what is your problem? Like, what is going on? And he starts sending me all of these different articles and all of these different posts and all of these different things and talking crazy about this guy, Billy.
Trust me. Hey, Storytime Tuesday is about to be a motherfucker for the rest of this damn summer. I'm telling you. Storytime Tuesday is a motherfucker. Wait until next week. Because this shit, oh my God. You cannot make this shit up. Like, you really can't.
And he was like, look at this, and look what he's been involved in. Look at this, and he's going to get you locked up and messed up, and you're going to end up on drugs and just going crazy. And I'm like,
he's the one that wanted him there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So he went crazy on me, and he's like, you need to get away from this guy. He's going to ruin your life. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, this guy has been nothing but nice to us. I mean, he's flown out here on his own dime to shoot a show of your facility, sir. So I don't know why you're so angry at him when he's only been good to us. And, you know, he was like, well, look at his history. And I was like, you know what? I don't really choose to look at people and judge them off of their history, because look at my history, you know?
What is the history? What do you mean?
Well, you know what?
What a fucking idiot. Look. Whether you judge people based on their history or not, it's actually pure common sense to identify or use pattern recognition, you know, to kind of chart somebody's somebody's next move when you decide to do business with them. Like, that's how it works. And somebody that engaged in credit card fraud should know this. Like, this is why you couldn't get credit cards that you fucking own, because your credit history was taken into fucking account. Like, people's history is taken into account in all facets of fucking life. Okay? It's why your mother had to put up her fucking house to bail your ass out of jail. Because she don't have the funds for that bond off rip. So she's got to put something up to get your ass out. Like, people's history, it kind of tells people. It might not necessarily tell me who you are right now, but it can tell me what you're likely to do, because the best indication of future behavior is past behavior. That's kind of how it works.
If you do your digging, you'll find a lot of stuff, but a lot of people just don't want to do a lot of digging. So people are very lazy. So there's things,
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. Which, I chose not to look at that at that time, which honestly, probably should have looked at that now that I'm older. And in the situation I'm in now. But I mean, I didn't look at it. And I was like, you know what? Just
motherfucker should have looked at your history. The way you stay getting niggas jammed the fuck up. Hell, you got your own mama jammed the fuck up. Your mother would have lost her fucking house if it wasn't for the fact that you got pregnant and your nigga talked you into turning yourself in. Like, for real. Notice how she just glossing over that part. I'm still bugging on how she ain't do no time. But let's get back to that. She said, fuck it. She said her mother even told her, like, yo, if you don't show up to court, I'll never deal with you again. She's like, okay, whatever, just get me out. And then soon as she get out, she's like, fuck that, we gotta run. Man, if you'll fuck your mother over, man, you'll fuck anybody over. Real shit.
And he was like, well, if you want to work with him, then you can't work with me. So you make your decision now. And I was like, all right, well, I can't work with you, dude, because I'm going to go broke and lose everything if I do that. So I'm going to have to go this way. And at that time, that's what I told him. And he was like,
talk about how a weed dealer got fucking hemmed up on some credit card fraud shit because that's what the fuck you were doing. Man, fucking radioactive pussy having ass bitch. Like, for real.
Fine, ruin your life. He was so angry. And I thought that he would be upset, but not anything further than that, right? As soon as we hung up the phone, I mean, I'm cut off of everything. My email goes away. I'm off of the Instagram. I'm off of the website. I'm just like literally erased from everything. And I'm like, this is so weird. I thought.
And that nigga got a get out of jail fucking free card. Like, fuck this. He said, say, soon as she got off the phone, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. She another nigga problem now.
We were friends. I didn't think it was going to be like this, right? So drama, big thing blows up. At that point, I had one of my pieces of technology inside of that facility because I was renting it to them. I was helping them. I put my stuff there. So we would, they would use it. So I was like, I hit him up and I'm like, hey, I'm going to pick up my suit from the place. He emails me back and he's like, you can't come here without a police escort. And I was like, excuse me? A police escort? What have I done to you but helped and worked for you like a slave for 2 years for free, So that was weird. He really hated me. He hated me for choosing Billy. And he really tried to destroy my name for a couple years afterwards. I mean, I've heard so many different things that he said about me, which is wild and, really crazy because honestly, I worked for free like a slave for years, trying to help his whole dream. So then, I leave that, but it was a great experience. I got to know a lot of great people. That's really when I dove into this healing work, is when I was working there. So I started to study all the technology. This is when I started to nerd out on everything spiritual. And, you know, I got really into mathematics and vortex mathematics and sacred geometry. And I just went all the way into all of this different knowledge. And so I like really started nerding out. I mean, by this time I was literally reading like one book a week. Like I was just in this knowledge thing. And I'm like, you know, brains getting blown up. I'm like, life isn't what it is. So this is different. So as I'm working with Billy, you know, I'm starting to see just realness and so much depth in so many different areas, which I'd never explored before. And so when I started working with him, it was like, you know, easy. It was easy because I already knew how to scale, right? Because I scaled this company over here. You know, I scaled my real estate stuff when I had my team. And so I knew how to scale. And at the time when I joined Forbidden Knowledge, he didn't have anything, you know, not anything. I'm sorry. He had a substantial following and he had a name already and he had a company already, but he had no employees. Like he didn't have anybody he was working with, you know, except for his kid. So it was like, I saw so many things within what he was doing. I'm like, yo, you need to, in order to scale this, like you've hit your ceiling, right? I'm like, if you want to be up here, there's so many different things that need to get put in place. So I was like, I can really help you do that if you want, you know? And he was like, absolutely. So I remember we had a meeting. We were sitting at the Ritz and I went over and I'm like, hey, what's your 1 year, 5 year, and 10-year goals? And we wrote them all down. And I'm like, okay, we can do this. And, you know, by the end of it, we had hit every single goal except for one. So, you know.
What was that?
Going public.
Oh, okay.
Trying to take the company public. So,
okay.
You know, it was a ride, you know, being together with him. I mean, I was working with him for a while and then we started to date. Well, we kind of started dating from the beginning. And then, you know, soon we started to travel together and we were just, you know, we started to just be together. And so I was helping him with his company and I hired teams. So I hired employees and a staff. I got all of his offers together. He had never pulled off a successful world tour before me. He had tried to pull off 2 tours and had to cancel them both. So I was able to come in and, you know, create a system. And so we were able to do 7 tours while I was with him. And we, you know, I've always done events throughout my life. When I was a chef, I felt bad because I felt like I was poisoning people with sugar.
This chick done been a chef, a bartender, a hostess, a model, a credit card scammer, a pill dealer. You know? A mental health expert. Now she's a spiritual coach. The fuck? Fellas and ladies too, man, run. You know? Your whole life is a scam. It's not real.
So I was like, how can I make this better? So I organized a couple charity events during that time and they were big, very successful, you know? And so I was pretty confident and comfortable in creating events and putting events together. So
yeah,
we ended up doing different events and those were always so much fun for me. We did 2 extremely large award shows in Miami, very successful, super fun. Like we did a whole, like it was called the Conscious Awards. We had a Conscious Awards weekend where it was a white party, white yacht party, and then a conference, and then a book signing, and then the award show. So, I mean, we were active and busy and doing a lot. I mean, produced a show called Anunnaki, Ancient Secrets Revealed. And, you know, I scheduled an entire movie theater tour. And I think we hit 6 cities. Every single city was sold out. I organized and scheduled the entire thing. You know, I mean, honestly, we worked 14 to 16-hour days constantly. There was no breaks. Even our vacations, they weren't vacations. No, we were filming content all the time. It was always for the look of things, you know?
Right.
It just make sure we get like, I just never a real vacation. It was always like, let's go live. We gotta go live today. It was a lot. So So, you know, I was extremely overworked. And you know, there was a period of time there. I mean, it was like this. When I jumped on board, yes, he was already him. He already had a following. He already had forbidden knowledge. But when I jumped on board, that thing shot up. I mean, scaled that thing massively because I could see the missing holes, you know? So if I can fill the holes and you have the visionary with the vision, and if the visionary can guide the vision and I'm taking care of every single hole, there's no way for that thing to shoot up, right? So it was like we were a perfect team for a while. And then, you know, I got to the height of things. I got him on Rogan and PBD and Flagrant, all these huge podcasts. And, you know, it was like we were getting booked all over the place. And then we went to Turkey and we were on a tour and he ended up getting sick. And I don't know what happened here, but we were in the side of a mountain in a cave, right? And in a hotel. And the hotel, the rooms in Cappadocia. So I don't know if you've ever been to Cappadocia, but it's it's interesting, right? So they have these hotels in the side of these caves and these ancient caves. And we went to one and I had this weird feeling as soon as we got there. I'm like, I don't like it here. Like something was weird. We went into the room and I started getting anxiety and then I started to see the ceiling fall. And I'm like, the ceiling is crumbling. I'm like, I don't know if we should stay here, but whatever, we're here. So that evening, I remember me and him, it was like his birthday or something soon. And we were kind of like a little bit aggravated with each other. I'm like, this isn't our energy, you know, something's weird. So everything smoothed out and we went to sleep.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. When you're not resting well, everything else feels harder.
And I remember the ceiling was still falling, right? And so the next day we wake up and I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Paint that's falling?
No, it's literally like I don't know how they made the inside of these cave rooms, but I don't know if it was mountain or I don't know if it was the stuff they added. Yeah, after the mountain. So I don't know what it was, but it was definitely like crumbled. On my suitcase, there was crumbles of white stuff all over like my suitcase. So I'm like, we got to go. I don't want to stay here. So we ended up leaving that place. And then the next day he started to feel sick. And so, or maybe it was a couple days later, he started to feel sick. And then one evening it was so bad. And I remember he got a fever and I'm like, you have a really high fever. I had peptides, right? So I'm like a biohacking queen. Like I bring all my stuff everywhere, especially when we're in a different country, just in case anything bad happens like this, right? So I'm like, okay, you're sick, you have a fever, you know, I got to boost your immune system. So I'm giving him thymosin alpha-1, which is a peptide that boosts your immune system. And so I'm giving him that, and then it's like holding him over. And then I run out of needles. And I'm like, I don't have any peptide needles anymore. You know, we're going to have to go get one. Like, I don't know what to do. And
you ain't giving me no drugs. Fuck that.
Right when I stopped giving him that peptide, he just full-fledged fever, right? And he was like drenched in sweat, complete fever. And I'm like, oh, this is really bad. So, you know, he got sicker and sicker. And it was like he was delusional. I mean, he was saying weird things. He was like sweating profusely. Mind you, the same days leading up to him getting sick, we're in pictures kissing each other. You know, we're like, I'm literally in his face, and the same place where the ceiling is falling. I mean, I was on his chest, you know, he's breathing, like I'm all up in his mixture, right? So I'm so surprised I'm not sick at this point. But right now I'm only concerned with saving him because he's really bad. And we're in Turkey in the middle of this tour. I'm like, if we try to put him on a plane, he's going to get sicker.
Elevated said, yo, she did something to him. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. That nigga just got sick. He fucked up. We
gotta fix this here. He didn't want to go to a hospital out there because he freaked out. So I'm like, you know, nursing him.
Drugging him.
And, you know, I was like putting wet claws on his face. But anyways, got him home. I had some prednisone. So I ended up giving him prednisone. I'm like, something, I think.
Yo, this nigga just taking that shit, man. Fuck that. I had to go to the hospital. No, leave me alone. Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Don't touch me. I'm not swallowing anything, and get the fucking needles away from me. Hell no.
You know, you got to boost your immune system. Something we got to get you home. You just got to get home and get into a hospital, right? So I ended up giving him some prednisone. That gave him strength. He was able to fly. So we were able to fly back home. And when we got home, we went to the hospital, and he ended up having pneumonia. You know, I was in the hospital with him for 3 days, 2 days. It was 2 days. And, you know, his white blood cell count was going up. So he was, you know, becoming septic. It was getting bad, but, you know.
In her defense, Trinity, I mean, she is trying, and I know I like the way you say she is trying to take credit for it. What she's saying is like he kind of had a bunch of shit going already, but she's trying to make it seem like he was lacking the organizational skills, you know, until she got there. You know, like she's the reason why he got booked on Rogan and other shit. But he already had like a bunch of followers. He already had huge platforms. You know, like these like he had a lot of shit going on already. Which is why he was able to just buy that bitch a car. Like off rip. As soon as she started screwing him, boom, he bought her a fucking car. Like, fuck it. So he had his shit going already, you know?
It wasn't to the point where he was going to die or anything. Like, he was perfectly, like, okay, he just had pneumonia, and they needed to give him.
What's up, Tehran?
Was going up, so he was, you know, becoming septic. It was getting bad, but, you know, it wasn't to the point where he was going to die or anything. Like, he was perfectly, like, okay, he just had pneumonia, and they needed to give him intravenous antibiotics, right? Because the antibiotics pill form were not strong enough. So I'm glad that we ended up being at the hospital. But yeah, no, he was conscious the whole time, and I was there with him, you know, so it was fine. And I'm glad that, you know, he got the help that he needed. But definitely, I think the closest to death that he was probably in Turkey, because that was terrifying. But when he got to the hospital, you know, he was fine. So we, you know, after that, it was a little strange. He felt different to me, and I don't know. He ended up getting asked to go do a show at our neighbor's house, which was good friends of ours. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, don't go. You just got out of the hospital. You know, you should just relax for like a week. You can't even walk. You know, you're like very weak. And he was like, no, I'm gonna go do this. And I'm like, all right, whatever, go do it. So he leaves, comes back 45 minutes later, and he's livid. And I'm like, what's the matter? And he's like, there was a guy and he kept messing with da. And so he was talking about the show, and it was a debate that had just taken place. And I'm like, why did you do a debate? You should not be doing debates. You don't do debates. I'm like managing him, right? So I'm like, you're not supposed to do debates. You got to get paid to do, you got to get paid a lot of money to do debates, you know? Why did you just do a debate? If I would have known about this, it would not have happened, because no debates happen with Billy. You want to debate Billy, you got to pay $50K. Everybody in the world wants to debate Billy. Everybody.
This is what they try to do when you get famous. A lot of these people are just ignorant, poor people. You know, they're just poor people. They're just ignorant. Well, there's a lot of it, you know, whatever, man. These people are.
I would have known about this, it would not have happened, because no debates happen with Billy. You want to debate Billy, you got to pay $50K. Everybody in the world wants to debate Billy. Everybody.
This is what they try to do when you get famous. A lot of these people are just ignorant, poor people. You know, they're just poor people. They're just ignorant. Well, there's a lot of it, you know, whatever, man. These people are just poor dummies.
If I would have known about this, it would not have happened, because no.
Yeah, there you go. That shit sound good.
And he's like, there was a guy and he kept messing with da. And so he was talking about the show, and it was for like a week. You can't even walk. You know, you're like very weak. And he was like, no, I'm gonna go do this. And I'm like, all right, whatever, go do it. So he leaves, comes back 45 minutes later, and he's livid. And I'm like, what's the matter? And he's like, there was a guy and he kept messing with da. And so he was talking about the show, and it was a debate that had just taken place. And I'm like, why did you do a debate? You should not be doing debates. You don't do debates. I'm like managing him, right? So I'm like, you're not supposed to do debates. You got to get paid to do, you got to get paid a lot of money to do debates, you know? Why did you just do a debate? And he was like, I don't know, but you got to call them and tell them not to release it. And I was like, okay. So I called our neighbor. I told him not to release it. I'm like, don't release it. So he's like, okay. I'm not thinking anything of it, right? I'm like, whatever. This is a pastime. 2 weeks later, I guess our neighbor was hitting him up trying to say, hey, I need to release this. And I don't know, something was not happening. And my ex was ignoring him. So like, then we were in Anguilla for our 1-year anniversary. And it was the day of our anniversary, I believe. And we started getting, our phone started blowing up. And we're like, what is?
Because the shit's viral at this point. And your neighbor's like, I have to fucking release it because more than likely the motherfucker who you done debated has already released it. Because that was probably the terms and condition of everybody that showed up, that they had access to the fucking content. So the shit's already out. So if everybody else is going to make their bread off of it, why shouldn't the motherfucker who show you is on make bread on it? You damn right. I don't just have to release it. I'm going to release it.
Going on here. So I started looking at my phone and I'm like, what is this? Some viral, like a viral debate. And like, I'm like, oh crap. And I'm starting to see all these messages, all these things. And I go to YouTube and I go to the video and I'm like, your debate is out. So they released the debate. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I don't think it's good. I was like, it's like actually really bad. Cause I was looking at the comments. I'm like,
who is the neighbor? I don't know. Did he have a podcast?
Yeah. So our neighbor had a podcast, not a big podcast, but like a podcast, good friends of ours. I'm still very good friends with them. Right. Actually. I'm still very good friends, especially with his wife. But yeah. I mean, had a podcast and we were just really good friends living in the same neighborhood. So, I was like, why would they release that? And he said that he wasn't going to release that. And so my ex was pissed and I was pissed because I'm like, why would they do that? And basically what I had heard from him is that, this was a whole setup. I mean, he told me it was a setup and he told me that the other debate guy, that he was
the other debate guy?
Wes Huff.
Okay.
Yeah. That he was saying that he was having like computer trouble and that he was like closing his screen every time my ex would have like a rebuttal. And so he was like, it wasn't fair. They set me up. It's all a setup. They did this to try to make me look bad. So I'm like, screw these guys. Like, no, this isn't right. I'm like full-fledged, like protective mode at this point. And so now I'm seeing like, my son had a YouTube page at that time. And I go over to my son's page and I'm seeing comments on my son's page, right, trolling. I'm seeing like people, I'm going to kill you guys. I'm showing up at your office. I'm going to kill. I'm seeing craziness, right? And I'm like, this has got to stop, So I was actually the first person to go live to address that situation after it had gone viral. I went live on Instagram and I'm like, y'all need to stop messing with my child, because
that always works. When you're annoyed by people fucking with you, just do a live stream telling people to stop. They always do. Fuck out of here.
This has nothing to do with my child. Like, you guys are coming to attack the adults here. Cool. But I was like, not my kid. So I was online, I don't know. I had lost my mind because I went into full protective mama mode. And so I started like going a little crazy on this live. And I'm like, you guys need to stop. And so, long story short, the ending of the trip was not amazing. We ended up going home. He's strategizing on how to do a rebuttal for this. And I'm just kind of letting him be in his stuff because I'm just trying to figure out how I can protect my kid. I can delete comments. I'm trying to play like cleanup because it's just such a crazy like situation. I was like, I don't know how to handle this. And I was like, how dare our neighbors take advantage of you like that, set you up, try to make you look stupid, try to do all these things. So this is my perspective. So, I'm in protective mode. I'm talking to our team because I was basically operations manager, right? So I managed everything operations. So I'm like on the line with my team. Now, meanwhile, he's preparing this rebuttal. So that evening, he decides to do this rebuttal. And I think the night prior to that, he went to our neighbor's house at 2:30 in the morning with a cease and desist. And I was like, I don't think you should do that. Like, you should probably not do that. You should just stay here. But when a guy gets their mind set on something, it's really hard for a woman to stop the man from their mind being set on that thing. So I was like very timidly like, I don't think, but no, he ends up going. And then scaring the shit out of that family in the middle of the night. And then that ring cam footage ends up going viral. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm like, lovely. This is awesome. Now I got to clean that one up too. Awesome. So this is just pouring gas on the fire, right? Like, this is so bad. So
well, what did he do? Just bang on the door?
With a cease and desist.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning.
All right.
Yeah.
But they didn't answer the door. Or did they answer the door?
I don't think they answered the door.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, it's probably still up with you. Yeah. Yeah, that's there. Probably went viral. So no, I don't think anyone answered. And no, they didn't. Actually, he came back to the house all upset, I remember. And then we got on the phone with the guy's wife, and we were like, please, you gotta tell him to take this down. It's not fair, it's not right, blah blah blah. And she's like, okay, I'll tell him.
Yeah, by now everybody's downloaded it, and there's clips, and it's too late.
It is. And by this time there were cease and desists flying around from my ex, to West, to all these people involved. And then that was going viral because everyone was like, haha, look, I got a cease and desist. You can't do anything. A cease and desist doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it does. It means nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's just a notification that if you don't stop, I'll do something.
Yeah.
Like what?
Right.
Exactly. I'll get a lawyer. Okay.
Exactly. So, it was just a whole bunch of bad press. Now, he was preparing all day for his rebuttal. I'm over here working with the team and figuring out how we're going to fix this fire. And I'm like, this is really bad. I'm going to let him do his thing. He's all confident. So good. He's confident. I'm going to let him go. Right. So I'm going to go upstairs. When he goes live, he's going live at like 8 p.m. And I'm like, I'm just going to take a bath and I'm going to calm my nervous system in this bath and I'm going to watch this live. And I was like, I need all of my employees. So everybody was on that live because there was going to be so many trolls and so many people. So it was like a responsibility of all of us to delete and kick people out. Like that's, the whole time. So, all of us are watching this live. He starts to go live and I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So it was like 5,000 and then 10,000 people in there and then 20,000 people in there. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot of people. I'm like, I can't keep up. And he's going, right? And as I'm starting to watch this whole video, I'm like, uh-oh, this is bad. And in my head, I'm not wanting to not support what he's doing. So I don't want to stop what's happening. But in my head, I'm like, I got to stop this. This is really bad. So it started to go all the way left. And it's just not, it was bad. It was really.
What, trolls or people are?
No, him, my ex, what he was saying, the rebuttal, the presentation, everything that he brought to, think that he was going to rebuke these people.
Right.
Oh, no. You're just, he was looking really crazy. And, I had to turn it off. I couldn't even finish watching it. It was making me want to vomit. So, mind you, I didn't want to like upset the situation. He's bragging about the video for the next couple of days. And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, he's like, oh no, it did such a good job. And I'm like, So it took me a couple of days to approach him and be like, hey, I really think that we should pull that video down. I think that we need to remove it. And I think you might need to do like an apology or something because I was like, that was, And he was like, really? I'm like, yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I do, in a way, feel bad for social media influencers, because they really do, like, a lot of them really do believe that they can control the perception of people. When at the end of the day, people are going to see what's in front of them, and or they're going to see what the fuck they want to see. That's just the way it fucking works. So all of that, I'll pull a video down, or I'll make sure that I'm only seen in this light and all of that shit. It's extremely manipulative, period. It's a shame that so many people are capable of being manipulated on that level, which is one of the reasons why you see people grow platforms to the size that they do with that tactic. But eventually, like, somebody gonna pull your card. That's just the game. Like, somebody is going to pull your fucking card, or if they can't find a card to pull, or they can't pull yours, they'll just make some shit up. But eventually your true color is gonna come out. The more time you spend on this motherfucker, the more time you spend in front of anybody, you're going to show the real you. It is what it is. That's why it makes sense to just be who the fuck you are from the beginning. That way you don't have to worry about getting exposed.
So, long story short, yes, the debate went viral. Yes, it was horrible for us to go through that. But to be honest, people started to come and attack us in a massive way after his rebuttal video went viral. And that's when everything started to change in the company. And, all of the stress. I mean, if you are talking crap about the people who are supporting you, it's like, why would you expect these people to support you anymore? So it's like, nothing good came from that. And so it was like the stress of working every single day for 14 to 16 hours with no breaks.
Like I said, that's why I say people are going to see what it is that they want to see. People are either going to see what's in front of them, or they're going to ignore what's in front of them and see what they want to see. And people are going to perceive things how the fuck they perceive things. But but people that really believe that they have control over what other people perceive, that's the illusion. Like that, I'm sorry, that's not even the illusion. That's the delusion of people. That they think that they can control how they are perceived by others. That's why you see so many people lose their shit on the internet. It's usually when that shit starts coming down. Oh, but people are going to think this about me. And number one, they're a bunch of strangers that don't fucking know you. So who gives a shit? But you obviously do, because your validation comes from external sources rather than internal sources. So that'll make your world fucking crumble. Number two, like that's something that's out of your control. Like that's literally, and figuratively, it's putting the weight of the world on your shoulders, trying to control the perception of thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of fucking strangers. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
This entire monstrosity of a company on my shoulders, and managing our employees. I mean, we had separate legs of the company. We were not only a big media, TV network, world tours, events, award shows, producer, TV producer, all of these different massive amounts of responsibility I was holding on my shoulders. I was completely burnt out, right? So after the debate the rebuttal went viral, I was deleting comments for about 10 hours a day. That's all I was doing. Like we were still traveling because he was still, it was still popping.
Just deleting comments. Why are you deleting comments? Now I get it. If it's just one comment here or there or, something like that can possibly get the channel or the platform flagged or some shit like that. But if you're deleting comments at that fucking level, you are really trying to control what people see when they come there. Or how people perceive you. Fucking crazy.
So like there were still shows and I remember being on planes, like delete. So I took in so much negativity because I was seeing how the negative comments were affecting him. And I'm like, we can't have you out here affected because you got to get back on the horse.
She said, I see how the negative comments are affecting you. Like I said, it's like you ever watch somebody try to catch spilling water in their fucking hands? It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah. Like it's just spilling and you're just trying to catch it and it's just, you can't catch it. It's spilling, you know? But these motherfuckers will still try.
No, we got to get this thing back. So, you know, I really took the grunt of that attack, like all of it. You know, I sat, even in bed, I would be deleting comments. I mean, this was literally my job from December all the way until probably the end of February. All I was doing, delete. Hundreds of thousands of comments I was deleting, taking in all that negativity and trying to hold the company because, you know, this was what we've built and everything was in flames. And so, you know, by February, I burnt out. I completely burnt out. I mean, I lost myself. I completely, I mean, physically burnt out, which means like my hormones were all out of whack.
That'll do more to your reputation than just standing on that shit and just accepting that you lost a fucking debate or just keeping you know, holding your ground. Just standing on that shit. Yeah, so what? People would respect that. But once you make a concerted effort to try to manipulate people into believing or perceiving what it is that you want them to believe, that's when people start to lose respect for you. That's kind of just how it is. You know, and that's why that rebuttal video, it doesn't work, because you're over explaining yourself. Just stand on what the fuck you, that's what, hey, I said what I said. Boom. Even if you said some bullshit. Or held for review. Yeah, she's a drama queen. Facts.
You know, I couldn't focus. I couldn't think. I mean,
well, no, she's not a drama queen. She's extremely manipulative. That's why she's picking and choosing which comments that she wants to display. Because you don't want to have no comments, because the comments and the engagement is what keeps shit going. So you want some comments, but you only want the comments that you want. You want to make it seem like everybody love you. Everybody love you. But everybody don't love you. This is the fucking world. Okay? This is the fucking world.
You know, everything was flat in my life. Like I had no purpose, no meaning, no passion, no spark. And I literally felt like a shell of who I used to be. And I was like, look, I'm not okay. You know, I can't keep doing this. I'm dying. Like I really need to do something different, you know? And I was just like, I just can't do this anymore. Like this, holding this company. I was talking about forbidden knowledge. And I'm like, I just can't. So, you know, I had that conversation and things got weird even more and continued to get more weird and more weird. And then, you know, April 10th last year, my life completely changed. And, you know, I was an owner and the you know, COO of that company. I had a husband, I had friends, I had employees that I literally plucked out of the city of Detroit to come work with me. I mean, all of our employees were from Detroit. I had all of that. And I hired my friends because in my mind, I want to, I mean, you spend a great chunk of your life with the people that you work with. So I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I want the people that I work with to be like family to me, because these are the people that I'm spending high quality amounts of time with, you know? So that's why I hired all my friends, because I was like, I want to love the people that I'm, you know, we're going to grow together. We're going to blow up together. You know, that's how it was always my thing. So
bullshit. You didn't hire your friends. You hired people and then assumed they were your friends. That's what happens. That's what usually happens with these motherfuckers. You know, you're a scamming, lying motherfucker who people just tend to not fucking trust. So unless you're doing something for people, they don't fuck with you. So you hired people, and that's how you got your friends. And then when business started to go down, you lost your friends. Did you hate when that happens?
You know, April 10th last year, when everything just was dismantled and gone all of a sudden, it's like, you know, that was a huge shock to my system. I'm like, I never expected in a million years for my friends, I mean, my best friends of years and years and years to turn on me. But they all did. Everybody did.
So
And
what happened? You come home one day and your stuff was packed, or what?
you know, it was pretty, I mean, it was like, you know, it was good one day and then within an hour it wasn't anymore. That's all I can really talk about it. I mean, it just wasn't. It was just bad, and I just didn't have anything after that. So I literally like woke up one day with all of the things I had, and like a mansion, like a couple cars, you know, like an entire set of employees and all the things, and a husband and a future. And then the next day I had none of it. None of it. I had nothing, and I had no money. I had nothing. I had nothing.
Y'all notice that part? We're gonna bring that shit up. All of these stories, whether she talk about her endeavors in real estate, helping to run a mental health facility with no fucking pay, okay, modeling, acting, hosting parties, and now helping build. It all ended. It all culminated with her not having any money. All of these things. Hey man, you're the baker, the chef, the real estate agent, okay? The scammer, the model, the actress, the wife. Hey man, you had 311 jobs, man. And now you have nothing. That's what I'm saying. You all a jack of all trades, master of none. That's why you had nothing. You had nothing because you never had nothing. All that shit was a fucking illusion. Again, confessions of a scamming ass hoe. 304. That's it. Your whole life is like an episode of fucking of the story Cinderella. Like real shit. You're literally living Cinderella every few years of your life. And at midnight, your whole life turns into a fucking pumpkin and some rats. Because the shit wasn't real in the first place. Fairy godmothers don't exist. Yeah, your name was on a credit card, but bitch, you ain't had no fucking credit. Yeah, you were taking pictures wearing clothes, but you wasn't modeling shit for any companies. That's why they weren't paying you. Yeah, you had a real estate license, but you wasn't fucking closing no deals. No? You weren't just running a scam, you were living a scam.
Thing. So that was the biggest dismantling of my entire existence. And my life has been a whole bunch of these, you know, as I've talked about. So you've seen it. So, you know, this process has been the hardest because I've sat here and stayed conscious the entire time. Now, old me would have ran to a club, went and got drunk, did a bunch of drugs and just forgot about it. But since I've been sober.
No, it's still the same you. You probably just didn't turn to drugs. You just found an alternative to drugs. You found some other escape from reality. Likely just straight up delusion. You know, social media addictions and external validations have that effect. And the need for external validation has that effect on people.
For all of these years. I mean, I was smoking a lot of cannabis at the time when I was burnt out with him. But the minute,
boom, just escapes from reality.
That my life changed like that and it switched, I quit. Because I'm like, no, my brain needs to be clear. I have to be clear because I have to figure out what I'm going to do.
Bud just wasn't enough for your ass no more. That's what it was.
I have to normalize life for my son. And I'm like, that is my only goal. And thank God for him, because that was what kept me getting out of my bed every single day to normalize, not bed, sorry, I don't even know where I was, but normalize life for my son. So that's all I focused on. And I mean, throughout that process, you know, it's like, I look at my life and I look at the things that have happened throughout my life. And I know you probably are, I have some patterns, right? I mean,
Yeah. You got a lot of fucking patterns. You got a lot of patterns. You know, you're radioactive. You know, and your radioactivity is contagious. Not only do you fuck things up for yourself, but the heavy part of the fuck ups seem to fall on others. Luckily for your mother, though, she was blessed and she didn't end up losing her fucking house. That's probably because she ain't a fucked up person.
Scaled and helped my friend with his mental health company. I didn't get paid, you know, I just gave up my services and just built that for him, right? His dream. Then I went over here and I started to jump on this thing and I built that dream for that person. Never did I ever build my dream for me, right? It was always building for them, building for that person. My team, oh, well, I still had a partner with my team. I was building for that, you know? I was always hiding behind the person because I just didn't feel worthy to hold that space, right? I didn't feel worthy to build for myself. So I never did. And I thought I was doing everybody a favor. Oh, I'm such a good.
Because you didn't have any fucking ideas. You didn't have any creativity. You didn't come up with anything on your fucking own. You had to stand on the ideas, creativity, and hard work of others and then try to get a little piece of that shit. Every time you tried some shit on your own, it yielded no fucking benefits. That's it. The only amount of money, I'm listening to all of these stories. The only way this chick was ever able to make something for her fucking self was when she went to that goddamn club. And got drunk. And she got paid just to be around people fucked up. That's it.
Person. Oh my God, I'm like the best person in the world. Look at me. I'm the best woman. I am the best friend. Look at all the things that I do for all these people. That's not how people should look at things. It's really, you know, you got to do for you. And so many different women get stuck in these situations where, you know, they're
I told you, man. Look, I'm sick of having to go to multiple channels and even say it here because they always try to pull this shit. I'm glad I'm toward the end of this video, but they always try to pull this shit. You know, this is an issue that women face. No, this is an issue that fuck-ups face. Fuck-ups. This is not a female issue. I'm pretty sure you looking for some niggas to blame for your fuck-ups. Your stupidity. The fact that you allowed yourself and willingly participated in a fucking scam that got a nigga that was selling weed knocked for credit card fucking fraud. I'm pretty sure you'll try to find some nigga to blame for how your mother almost lost her fucking house bailing your ass out over some shit you fucking did. You'll find some nigga to blame for the tequila shots that you were taking when your ass was 7, 8, 9 months fucking pregnant. That you're trying to tell us was fucking water. You're gonna find some nigga to blame because you decided to let some nigga screw you and work for and with his ass for free. Nothing's ever your fault. It's just some shit women have to go through. No, it's some shit people like you have to go through. You just happen to be a woman. But I know plenty of women that are not scamming, losing, loser fuck-ups. They blame everybody else for their fucking mistakes.
Inside of these relationships, men too. And they give up all of themselves for that relationship. And that is the most toxic, awful thing that a person can do, because you never know. I mean, divorce, yes. But what if the person just dies? You know what I'm saying? What if the person has a heart attack and yet you poured all of you into this person? You know, when everything changed in my life, I didn't know who that.
That's called fucking vulnerability. It's part of being committed to a relationship. You know, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. That's it. And if some fucked up shit happens, which it can, you move on. That's life.
I was. I'm like, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I want. What do I even want to do? I didn't know any of that because I didn't know who I was, because I was literally living that life for that. And I thought that I was being a stand-up wife, woman, and COO in doing that. But I see it so clearly now. It's like I was just continuing to tie myself into these toxic situations so I could hide, you know, I could hide who I am, because I was too scared to be seen, too scared to stand in front, too scared to have this be mine. Because if this is all mine and everybody's looking at me, if it fails, then I'm a failure, right? So that's kind of what I learned about myself through this. So, I mean, in this rebuilding process, it has been the most beautiful process for me. I launched my podcast last year in June. It's called Unlimited with Elisabeth Carson. And I wanted that name Unlimited because I felt so limited my whole life. It's like, oh, you can't talk about your past because that's going to make me look bad, you know? So it's like my whole goal with my podcast, with my business, I mean, with what I'm doing, I'm opening up a nonprofit. I actually just filed the paperwork. I'm so excited. It's going to be called The Unlimited Life. And I want to be that stepping stone for people, right? That.
Hey, there you go. You got it, Bridget. She said it herself. She is now entering into the nonprofit sector. She done found another lick. You know, the nonprofit sector can be extremely lucrative.
Don't know where to go, that have tried all the mental health things, that just, you know, have literally hit the ground, and they're just like, I just give up. I don't know what else
You're
to do.
in nonprofit
I've
sector.
been there so
you can get some of those
donations, gifts, more gifts.
That's all that shit mean.
many different times in my life, and I've experienced over 100 different modalities in my life to heal my brain, heal my nervous system, heal my body, heal my energy, you know, heal everything about me. I've experienced so much. So I know that there are things that can help people.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get.
All right. So that'll be it for me. I'm going to enjoy my evening. You know, I hope you guys enjoy yours. We just watched Elisabeth. Matter of fact, let me drop this shit in the chat. Hold up. Y'all want to check out this video? You can watch the full video without my commentary You know, right here. It's pretty wild. You know, pretty wild. Confessions of a scamming ass Trey Ofo. Okay. Yeah. Fucking hilarious, man. Fucking hilarious. But it's actually not. It's really kind of, it's really extremely sad. You know? It's really just sad. Yeah. And also, I'm going to drop another link to a video, right? This is Elisabeth Carson's video. I'm going to show you this. It's titled, I'm Not Changed. This is why she still this is why she still has the name Elisabeth Carson. She says, I'm not changing my name, so stop asking. Let me drop a link to that as well. Matter of fact, I'll bring up that video. Fuck it.
Yeah, you better listen because I've won this. Everybody in this world should have it. Stop illusions. It's in your head.
So people can finally shut the front door about it. You know, higher than thou person that doesn't have emotions, and you know, just you know, I'm a real live person out here living a real live life. You know what I'm saying? And it just, I have to really get some people straight about this name thing, about how everybody is so offended that I'm not changing my last name back into my maiden name. And I'm just going to just address it just real quick for people that don't understand. So people can finally shut the front door about it and then go back to minding their business instead of mine. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people get so triggered about this name thing. And it's just, I have to look into a couple things so I could let people know. You know what I'm saying? Because
everybody know, and I'm about to get the fuck up out of here, but everybody know that you're still trying to make sure that you get some kind of social media clout off of being Billy Carson's ex-wife. That's why you're not changing your fucking name. That's why. You know? But what's she gonna say? She gonna say some Tina Turner shit. I earned it.
Yeah. And guys, that's not only what I'll be talking about tonight. I'm going to be talking about some other things too, because I found, you know, there was a little video made about me I've been hearing about, calling me a hypocrite. And I'm going to address that too. And we'll talk about what really is hypocrisy. You know, what does that really mean? What is being a hypocrite? Because guess what, guys? We're all hypocrites.
There you go. Miss me with the bullshit. It's all good. I'm not gonna call you that. I'm gonna call you a lying scam. Well, I'm not even a liar. You know, you're just a scamming ass, delusional, stupid ass ditz of a fucking chick, man. They think you're smarter than every fucking body. That's why the fuck you gotta deal with the shit you gotta deal with. So here, I'm gonna drop the link to that video. Y'all make sure y'all sub to Unlimited, Elisabeth Carson. Also sub to that other channel if you want to check out some of these other things. We'll be back next week for Story Time Tuesday. This was definitely fun, you know, checking this shit out. Crazy shit. You know, she said, I've had my fill of this wicked woman. Nah, hey, you know, it kind of is what it is. Just like she said, everybody can shut the front door. On that note, man, it was a pleasure. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. Elevated, Trinity, Bridget, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that came through, Cynical One. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.